can't say anything good about this phone. This phone is garbage. You gotta say something nice. People love Samsung phones. Just make something nice up. So this is the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, and in many ways this is one of the worst Note phones that we got so far. Up until now the Note series was just a bit more special than the S series. Well, that's definitely not the case with the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. So this is a phone that's $1,000, and what do we get for $1,000? I'll tell you what. We get a phone that's made out of plastic. Yeah, and it feels cheap, it feels like any other budget phone. And I've seen some articles where people are saying that the back actually feels good. No, the back feels cheap. That's exactly what this is. This is a cheap phone that's expensive. Samsung Galaxy Note 20. We also get a screen that has a 1080p resolution and a 60Hz refresh rate. And this is the same that we get with a lot of budget phones, phones that are like $100. So the screen refresh rate should have definitely been higher on this device. Now I have to give it to them, we finally get a Note phone that doesn't have a curved screen, and it feels kind of refreshing using a flat screen. So for that I have to say that we should see more Note phones that have a flat screen. And overall the screen looks good. I mean, most Samsung phones have the best screens out there. But this should have had a higher resolution and a higher refresh rate in my opinion. And just in case you are wondering, even though the bezels around the screen are super slim, we still get a speaker at the top here. So whenever you're playing music or watching a video, you get dual speakers. So you get the speaker at the bottom and the one at the top. So when I've seen the phone in pictures, I was a bit concerned, but no, we still get dual speakers, which is definitely a good thing. Now, something that isn't that great are these three boring cameras on the back of this phone. So the phone gets what's called a 3x hybrid zoom. That's basically a combination of optical zoom and digital zoom. So we don't even have 3x optical zoom, which is kind of a shame considering that this is a phone that's $1,000. Now, I did see some articles saying that the phone doesn't get a Pro video mode, but this phone actually does get a Pro video mode. So if you're into changing settings whenever you're recording video, you can definitely do that from the Samsung Galaxy Note 20. Now, this phone can also do 8K at 24 frames per second, and of course it can do 4K at 60 and 4K at 30 frames per second. And I'm actually gonna do some camera comparisons between this, the iPhone 11, between this and the Huawei P40 Pro. And I may even do a camera comparison between this and the Pixel 4a, because I have a good feeling that the Pixel 4a will take better pictures. But again, we'll have to see how those pictures look whenever I get to those videos. So the cameras on the back should have been better in my opinion, considering that this is a phone that's $1,000. As for performance, well, this is gonna be one of the fastest phones available on the market. And even though we only have 8 gigs of RAM, I personally feel that 8 gigs of RAM is more than enough for any gaming that you're gonna do, any video editing. 8 gigs of RAM should be enough for pretty much everyone. And I feel that all the other phones that have like 12 gigs of RAM, well, that's just a marketing scheme in my opinion. So the 8 gigs of RAM that come inside the Note 20 should be more than enough. So yes, this is gonna be a fast phone, but this is an expensive phone that doesn't offer that much for the price in my opinion. This plastic back makes the phone feel super cheap, but this is an expensive phone. The cameras are the same boring cameras that we've seen on the S20, and we've all seen that those cameras weren't that great, so it's gonna be the same with this phone. And we'll see that in those future camera comparisons that I'm gonna do. And I know that most people will use a case with this phone, so you're probably never gonna see the back or touch the back. But that's not a reason not to include something more premium on a phone this expensive. As for the screen, well, it should have had a higher refresh rate. I can definitely do the 1080p screen, I don't mind 1080p screens, but a somewhat higher refresh rate would have been nice. I think that 60Hz is just a bit too slow these days, mostly considering that this is one of the fastest phones available on the market. So if you really want a Note phone, even though I love the flat screen on this one, I think you should spend more and get the Note 20 Ultra. That one is gonna be much better than this one in many ways. Plus, it's not gonna feel as cheap as this one. Alright guys, if you do have any questions about this phone, feel free to leave a comment down below. I will have a full review in a week or so after I get a chance to use this phone a bit more. If you did like the video, don't forget to press that like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.